What's up, guys? Welcome to the Van Helsing After Show. Today we're talking about episode 12, which is He's Coming. And this episode has a lot, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
All right, AfterBuzzers, welcome to this edition of Van Helsing. Like I said, we're talking about episode 12, He's Coming.
What?
Right?
So dynamic, this music.
It is, because it's from the Van Helsing movie.
See how we did that? Tied it all together?
Yeah. And then my name is Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D. Lane. I'm joined by my awesome co-host.
Hey, I'm Andrew Mena. You may have heard of me as Andrew Mena. You can find me online at Andrew Mena on Twitter and at the Andrew Mena on Instagram, because pictures are great too.
Nice. And we are live in the chat right now, so if you're watching this live, feel free to chat with us on your thoughts about the episode. If you're watching it later, feel free to comment down below, because this episode we finally got we got a shit ton of information.
Yeah.
This one that we've been waiting for.
This is a dense episode.
Yes. It's one of those, like, for a lot of the episodes where not a lot happened, this one made up for it.
It's true.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Vampire Sam is still creepy.
Vampire Sam, super creepy.
Still super creepy.
Major things to keep in mind.
Yes.
Vampire Sam, super creepy.
And, like, his eyes are darker now, and it's just like, nope.
Oh my gosh. And we'll get to this more in a minute, but like his hair is gone now, so he literally looks like Batboy. Like he's all bald and crazy and horrifying, and
it's like,
great.
no.
It's wonderful.
And then I love when Mohammed and Vanessa get to the cabins and they're like, looks empty. I'm like, really? After all that we've been through, you're not gonna go inside? Like, they just kind of look through the window?
They just kind of peek. Looks empty.
Looks empty.
Yeah, you know what?
Really,
the funny thing, Mohammed, is most things look empty when you're outside of them.
Yes, I'm like, I would have been happier if they like looked inside, checked, and they're like, okay, all clear.
Yeah, I mean, this show in general has a bad way of showing you that they are doing their due diligence to survive in like really small ways. Like,
oh no, this
obviously
one was like, it's clear.
Yeah. Well, they're obviously like fighting vampires, but like when it comes to like just checking their like surroundings, sometimes they are not on it.
Bit.
Yeah.
And we learned that no wonder Mohammed is so resourceful. He was a Boy Scout.
He was a Boy Scout, which is
I like that
before
exchange.
This whole thing.
That was very funny. He's like, "What? You're not the type," and he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
And they had the little race jokes in there, but that was actually really funny.
Good. Yeah.
Smart.
I actually thought it was really interesting too in that scene. He says, I was really different before all of this.
Yes.
You know, which I thought was really important because all of this also is very ambiguous because all of this we assume is the zombie apocalypse or the vampire apocalypse, but all of this could mean what we kind of find out at the end, like his indentured servitude, it seemed like, towards Dmitri.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah. All right.
Because I have multiple theories on
Great.
that. But yeah. But yes, it's a good point on that. But it makes sense. There's a lot of these people that, you know, they had a different life before, and now that all this has gone crazy, they're like, yeah, it's different.
It's true. Different world.
And then
Vampire world.
Just a little bit. We kind of had a little bit of a tease with so Vanessa's talking to Mohammed, and she's like, hey, so you want to tell me that truth thing Sam was talking about? And Mohammed's like, now he's just conning people, and I'm like, I think he's totally lying.
He shut down so hard, and he turned away from her in the bed, and he's like, you should shut that off. We should go sleep now.
Yeah.
It was like, it was great. It was very well played, but it was like very obviously like this guy has a secret.
Yeah, and so do you guys think that Mohammed's lying? Because we totally do. That's two against Mohammed. Yep.
Well, we know he's affiliated in some way with Dmitri. So obviously there was some sort of like.
Okay, wait, so let's jump on that.
Okay.
So do you think this has been a long-term thing?
Spoilers, you guys.
Well, I would hope you've watched the episode
show
when you're going to watch this.
Pause this, go back, watch it, join us.
The way it ends, you think that he had been with Dmitri the whole time. But I mean, I guess that makes sense because he kept pushing for that location and over and over. I guess at first I kind of was like, I was giving him, like Vanessa said, benefit of the doubt, and was just thinking it was when they got there he got him. But it is a bit more, when you think back of all the other bits where he's like, hey, no, we got to go here. We got to go here. And I was like, no, it makes sense. It's on the way.
It totally makes sense. I mean, they did a really good job of making it make sense, like giving him real reason to like go back. And Shima's obviously there. And we know as the audience as well, like that was a great job for them as storytellers to be like, hey, Shima's totally there. He could totally have a reason to want to go.
And it's not that far out of the way. I totally was like, no problem. I like someone in the chat says, yeah, he's a survivor, a Boy Scout, and a traitor. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Killian. I'm like, yep, totally.
I know. We're upset with him. I agree. But obviously, there's so much more to this story. Like, that he's uncomfortable revealing, and that Sam, like, refused to do for him, clearly. So, you know, obviously, I'm playing favorites because I love Mohammed a lot, but I want to believe that there's, like, a chance for redemption with him. In the same way that I want to believe that, like, Axel's still alive.
Yes.
We haven't seen or heard from Axel or Doc in a minute. Yeah. So maybe Axel, Doc are gonna come and save Mohammed.
Ooh,
maybe.
redeem themselves.
I'm just saying.
That would be nice.
And they can all redeem themselves together. Okay. We'll just have an episode called Redemption.
Ooh. Chat room theory. I think they're referring to Mohammed was in cahoots with Axel's Marine buddy since episode 1.
Interesting.
Good theory. I don't know any particular evidence to support that. More than just a crazy theory, but interesting. Makes you think about it. Yeah. Like, do you think since the very beginning he's been trying to get her there?
Maybe.
Or when he left, remember when he was gone from them, maybe that was the time
potentially
because I mean indentured, if you will.
That's a great question. Is that
we
what
don't
point
really know.
Yeah,
I'm thinking that'll be next episode where he's like, Vanessa, this is what happened, blah blah. Maybe
we don't have any. Do we have any idea whether or not? Ooh, this whole opens up a whole barrel of worms, because I feel like does this mean that Sam could have been indentured too? They could have been indentured together, and that's where they came from. This like 2-man unit who is going to go capture Vanessa in some fashion.
I didn't quite get that vibe.
Okay, I mean it's just because they feel like such a package deal to me.
Yeah.
Like so, and you know in that scene where like before they go to sleep, he has that moment of being like, you know, Sam saved me. He's the one. He's my friend. Like he was the first one to be there for me. You know, he nursed me back to health. So there's this general sense that so maybe he found Sam, maybe he met Sam with, you know, in the Demetrius camp thing or whatever.
Hard to say. I don't know.
I'm super curious about the origin story here because I feel like it affects so much of the turnout of this episode.
Yeah.
So, curious.
Then we jump over, we have Julius, and he goes to Eden, but they've already left.
He burns it down.
And did we quite get a sense of how they knew they were coming? It's just said they were warned, but we never really 100%.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know.
No.
Like, it could be anything.
Because Julius charged the vampire woman, who I'm forgetting her name now. Sorry, guys.
Mulholland Drive.
It was M something, and
Milady Natalie.
My lady vampire.
Yeah.
But she's like, no, I didn't do it. So I'm curious how they kind of knew, or they just maybe were like, hey guys, we should get moving.
Yeah.
Like, unclear.
I was really sad that she said, I'm totally willing to die for you, because I was like, oh man, he's just gonna kill you now.
Yes, that was bad.
You just
she's
checked
like,
off that box.
Okay.
Do it though.
Right now. Okay.
Yeah. But I also thought that maybe as a vampire he was using something that would just like hurt her and not kill her, and just be like, I'm punishing you, you know? Is that a thing vampires can do? Maybe. I don't know. These don't seem...
I'm gonna think that she actually did warn them, because otherwise he was so convinced to bother to kill her. Otherwise, like, why bother killing her?
True.
I was like, is this a warning to other people?
Yeah.
I didn't quite. It felt weird, unless she really did betray him.
It almost seemed like the tail end of like a torture scene. Like, oh, like we just got all the information from her.
Yeah, and I'm like, I missed info.
Yeah. I think that was probably the intent. But anyway.
I think you're right. And then we have Vanessa going like, my guts that Dylan's not here, and then she's worried about being captured, which that was like...
It's so out of left field for me.
That was a little bit weird. And tying into a little bit later, she's like, I'm so worried about being captured, and this is kind of ironic. In trying so hard not to be captured, she got captured.
Right.
Because then she gets knocked out. Anyway, so I'm like, Vanessa, you're not doing such a good job. Yeah. So whatever.
Can we also talk about, I mean, we'll talk about it in a second, but that fight with the butcher...
We'll get to that.
Upsets me.
But you know what? I was wondering if maybe her gut was not that Dylan's not there, but like it's a bad idea to go there, because Vanessa, in that way, you're totally not wrong.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
She's probably not incredibly like excited to go back to a vampire stronghold. She's been in one before, and she had to like fight her way out and barely made it. Yeah. And now the only person that made out with her is dead. So it's an intense situation, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we have Julius. He's called to the Citadel, and he's like, I'm not afraid. That's a human emotion. because Dmitri wants to talk to him, and Julius is like, fine, I'll go. And the woman who he's with, who I'm thinking they're a more mother-child relationship after watching it, but very
That's
friendly.
what I thought too. Yeah, there was definitely like an almost Oedipal kind of thing going on.
Yeah, the head thing made me think mother-child.
I wrote that too, though, the fear is for humans thing.
Yeah.
I want to know what other phrases the vampires have, like fear is for humans just like cavities. Am I right? Like what?
Yeah.
Ah, man. I just imagine, because...
Well, wait, they could get cavities. Their teeth are kind of effed up.
That's true. Maybe, like, I got to ask some vampire comedians, because I feel like that's got to be, they got to have great material. I want to know their human impressions. Well, you know how humans walk. Derp, derp. I don't know.
Yeah.
Be really funny.
I think he is still scared, but he's going to suck it up and do it.
Julius?
Maybe not scared, but anxious or something. Like, he's going to do it. He's not so scared that he's not going to do anything. Go.
Yeah.
So. He clearly does go. Then we both were thinking this when we watched this, guys, that we have the humans kind of at the Citadel and planting the bombs.
Yeah.
And Andrew's like, dude, they can still really
they
hear
have,
you.
like, crazy
and I'm
good
like, yes,
hearing.
guys, you're talking way too loud.
They have vampire hearing. If Sam can hear them talking from the woods, he's like, oh, I can hear you. And you just, like, it's not, you can't talk around them at all. Or maybe it's purposeful. Like, maybe, I feel like this is giving the show too much credit, but maybe they're purposefully being like, hey, we're talking about the plan so that the vampires will know this amount of the plan.
No, but I didn't like them telling that girl, because we already know we can't trust that girl.
Shima?
So that is Shima.
Yeah,
that
Shima.
is his sister. Okay.
Yeah.
For a while, I was thinking it was a different girl, but
No
it makes
worries.
sense to have been following her.
That's her.
It's
Confirmed.
one of those things I'm like, wait, so that, yeah. But yeah, we obviously can't trust her, but she's smart in her own weird way.
I feel like that's the true of people who are in this world of vampires. Like the smart ones, like work out deals and like just survive. You know what I mean? Flesh is still here, you know, because he was under vampire like reign for a minute.
Yep. Then we have Sam, and then I was like, you should have killed him, because then he comes
And he
back
says
and
that.
and he's like, you should have
You
killed
should
me.
have killed me. And it's
Like most bad guys.
Did you?
Yes.
I was gonna say, did you notice that in the beginning of this episode, he still had his like deaf voice, but by the end of the episode, he did not.
Right, and that was the thing we talked about, how him hearing it, he would adjust.
Yeah, and
But that makes
he
sense.
is.
Yeah, because the thing is, if you're deaf and you can't hear how it's supposed to sound, you obviously wouldn't say it how everyone else says it. But
It's
now
true,
that he can adjust.
But it just
Though
also
it went kind of quick.
It's just also this brilliant device that makes him so much scarier.
True.
Yeah. Because he's going to start using this full eloquent, like, I feel like he's going to really start chewing scenery. I'm waiting for you, Christopher Heyerdahl. It's going to be great. I'm so excited.
And then
Monologues.
I like that Mohammed pointed out that Sam did admit he was the killer. So way back when, it's right.
That's true, yeah. And I hadn't thought about that.
And then it's like, I didn't even think of that till Mohammed said it. I'm like, damn,
yeah,
we could
he
have
did
solved
say
so much of the
that.
problem if we had
We
done
should
something
have
about it now.
believed him.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, I was going to say,
I loved him too much.
with bad guys, like most superhero things, sometimes you should just kill the bad guy, because guess what? They come back.
They're going to come back, and they're smart.
Yes,
and
just like Sam did.
Gross.
We did learn some good vampire information this moment with Sam, though, because the older vampire lady was like, drinking animal blood is toxic, and then you could have become feral.
It's like crude, yeah. And without humans to feed, vampires turn feral, it sounds like. So human blood is necessary for vampire, like, enlightenment or, like,
Be clean, cleanse.
Like,
They're detoxing.
control of your senses and all that.
So then that's interesting that I wonder if there would have been more or less ferals then, because they're not eating what they should be.
Right. Like, are all of those ferals because they're eating rats and stuff?
I'm going to guess so. Like, you don't instantly
That's really
necessarily
interesting,
go
because
feral.
that really changes the picture of, like, oh, you think all of these ferals are just attacking humans left and right and, like, draining the population. Most of them just have to eat rats and stuff.
Yeah.
It's great. I
Because there
really
haven't
like
been
that.
a lot of spare animals. Like, in most zombie things, like, I always think of that, and then with this, too, there's been, like, the horse at the farm, that's it. There's not dogs running around, there's not cats. So, they've probably eaten them.
Yeah.
Yes.
True. And they're running low.
Yes. And he got kind of blinded, and the human blood made him heal, so then that was another thing as well.
Yeah.
And then we get Brendan back from the hospital with flesh. That was kind of cool. I didn't see that coming. I think we thought they might come back.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they didn't get killed. See, that's the thing about this show is that I think anyone who isn't killed on screen will come back. You know what I mean?
No body, no proof, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I totally agree with no body, no proof. So, yeah, I was waiting for it. I'm glad he's back because I think that he is more of a force for good than we were ready to let him be in the first season. Or, wait, this is still the first season.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
in the first half of the first
Flesh
season.
is like, don't kill me. And then it's like, we're going
who
to
said anything about killing you?
Yeah. Oh, actually, we'll just talk about that. And then we have Taka. Which we finally get to see who that is because we've been talking about him for a while now. Yeah. And he wants to know where Vanessa is.
Great beard.
But seeing the trailer for next time, I'm not sure how much they want to use her to their advantage or just want to know where she is. Or I want to know what they want with her.
I mean, tactically it's important. I feel like for them, they're like, tactically it's important to know things. So I think maybe they even just want to be like, is she with the vampires? Do they have her? Do they not?
Yeah.
Is she out doing things? Is she headed somewhere else? You know? So maybe even a general idea that they're looking for.
Okay, random discussion brought by the chat, which I like this, guys. This is a good theory one. Since we're talking about how vampires can change. The creatures in the tunnels, are they brought about by them eating on corpses?
Great question. Maybe, yeah, because maybe dead blood is bad for them. I also wonder what happens if they try to feed on other vampires. You know, because this is the question.
They haven't quite done that yet.
How do you become an elite? Or, like, you become an ancient by being ancient, you know, obviously, but like, is there any status gained the way it's better to drink human blood? Is it better to drink human blood that is tall people, you know, like
young, old,
what's
like,
the best? I'm just trying to say, whose blood should I be drinking?
Yeah.
You know, like,
well, it's like the difference is that, like, the babies, they're eating the babies, is like babies' blood so pure because they haven't
that's the top shelf
life affect
top shelf
them.
baby's blood. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. See, I want to know. Yeah, exactly. Like, and what is the list? What is the hierarchy of bloods?
Oh, another one from the chat. We were waiting for Axel, and then we get Brandon.
Yeah.
Brendan. But I was glad he came back because he was an interesting character that, like.
Yeah.
I still think Axel could come back because it felt weird how his storyline ended.
I agree. I agree.
You're like, yes.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Brendan back when he was in the hospital, but I'm willing to get because he's a good character. He's clearly a leader. You know, he has like a strong character, and I feel like he's gonna do stuff. He's gonna make stuff happen. So at the very least, he's a great catalyst. He's a great like gear to be turning in the cogs of our characters. So
yes,
excited for Brendan.
And then we learn about the Red Brigade, which are people who are collaborators, quote unquote, that work with the vampires, and they're traitors as well.
They're basically like snitches.
Yeah.
Like
it's
stoolies.
one of those like that weird. Would you be willing to work? Well, this is a good moral
question. Yeah.
Would you be willing to work for the bad people or bad creatures if you don't die? Or would you try to be the resistance? Or would you do nothing?
And ultimately, when Vanessa and Mohammed are standing there being like, ugh, how could you do this? Like, Vanessa's the only one who has any right to be outraged.
That's true.
Because Mohammed's doing it too.
Yeah.
So
yep.
Yep.
Then we get the Dimitris Julius standoff. So
yeah. 1, 2, 3. Vamp fight!
Nope.
No? All right. Vamp fight!
We were trying to get some sound effects.
Vamp fight!
Nope.
Nope. All right. Well, this was a vamp fight, and I was pretty excited about it because we've been waiting for like vampire on vampire fighting to see what kind of powers they have, and apparently they got powers.
Well, Julius I felt that was actually a pretty darn weak standoff.
Oh, I mean, it was like this is the thing, I actually thought it was really strong, and here's why I thought it was really strong. Because really strong people do not fight forever. They fight like that.
Yes.
And then they're done.
Good point.
So, you know, he's like, come at me. I could kill you.
Yeah.
Come at me. Okay, you're down, and you can't win, and I'm not going to kill you, but if you try this shit again, brother, you're going to be done. So, I mean, it's a great demonstration of power. Like, I like that it didn't take forever and have them throwing each other all over the place to be like, oh, who's stronger? No, he made you. Yeah. He is your god. And it's just like, oh.
Yes.
Yeah, and in the moment, and we're going to talk about this too, but the moment where he grabs Vanessa mid-air is just like, oh, yep, you can't do that.
Yes. Well, we learn also, speaking of like the vampires and the hierarchies, we learn that the elders can be resurrected.
Yeah.
Because Dimitri's like, resurrect the elders.
Right.
And we're like, ooh, what? More in their hierarchy?
Yeah, I'm so confused by what that means. Like, are they actually just bringing back, like, mummy vampires? Is that what we're to believe? Or
I don't know. Or maybe they want Vanessa to bring them back? Like, it's special blood?
These are the questions. Is there like a Mr. Freeze's wife vampire who's like stuck? Who's like, she's got a disease. She needs a cure. You're the key. Like what? Like I'm so curious.
It's a good question.
What are they going to use her for?
Yeah. I don't know, because we're kind of like, well, wait, because even Julius is like, they're still around.
Yeah.
Dimitri's like, yeah, duh. Leading into Vanessa's demise, we have Vanessa and Mohammed when they get to that compound. They're like, let's split up. And again, no.
Why? Yeah,
No.
I wrote that down too.
Yeah.
No, don't.
Never. Bad plan.
I mean, even if I feel like they could have been like, well, the only way we're going to not set off an alarm is if we both go at the same time and blah, blah, blah. But like they didn't. They were just like, well, let's split up, gang.
Yep.
Okay, why? No, don't.
Nope. Bad plan.
You've shown every time in the show, don't do that.
Yes.
And every show that has someone say,
Never
let's
say
split up.
split up. It's a horrible plan.
Yeah. Can we, as a collective group of human beings, decide to never say, let's split up again?
Or horror movies, I'll be right back.
Yeah, or I'll be right back. Just don't say it. Know what genre you're
bad.
in. Yeah.
So we're getting into that meat cleaver guy, but before that, Vanessa walks into that room and there's the creepy body bag sacks.
Oh yeah,
hanging.
people just hanging in sacks. What did you think that was at first?
You know, I thought they were people. I don't know if I think they're. I didn't know what they were right away, but then as soon as we heard a person that was in it, but then I didn't quite understand what was the purpose for them being in there that way.
Really? See, my initial reaction was,
yes.
Because she's looking for kids, this is their version of veal.
Oh.
I was like, these are children in bags that they're not letting move around so that they can be succulent.
Though.
Well, because she's looking for her daughter, so like what I expected to see in this building was children. So I was like, there's people in those bags, children people. Oh, children people, children veal. Oh my God, this show is dark. This show is dark, dude. So.
But now do you think it is?
I don't know. Well, I mean, we didn't. The old woman says there's no children here, so I don't think it's. I mean, it still sounds like it might be veal, but maybe not baby veal.
Young, healthy. People. They all sound like women.
A lot of them. I think I saw men in there too.
I didn't hear a male voice.
When the lights kind of came on, I felt like I saw men, but that's also a feeling. Maybe not a good one.
Well, because then we get the meat cleaver guy comes in. And he's like the butcher, and we don't quite know because he's just cutting the bodies up, which felt weird because the vampires don't really eat here's section of foot. Well, that's true. They might feed them differently, or different feeders or stuff like that.
Right, and
or feral.
Maybe they're repurposing bodies in some way, forcing.
Yes.
Maybe they're feeding their humans with them, like.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the question because they have obviously camps of humans that they take care of. Like, what do they feed them with?
Well, we learned this is a blood farm. We're doing quote unquote for those listening, because Vanessa finds that old lady. We'll jump to that.
Who's like, get out of here.
Yeah, she's like, go away. Yeah. There's no kids here, no people. This is just a blood farm.
I'm not trying to be rude, but get out of here while you're still okay.
And so you said you wanted to talk about the butcher fight.
Oh, man. That butcher fight. Oh, man. So it was really interesting.
Okay.
I was really excited that Vanessa was like, come and get me.
Yeah.
It was like, oh yeah, we're going to get a really dope fight. And then he's just like, nope, I'm way too strong for you. And then she went for a gut shot. She's like, I'm going to run you through the middle because that's always worked for me. And I was just like, come on, Vanessa.
It has to be a heart shot, right?
I mean, just go for the face. Go for the head. Like, Vanessa, every time. I know he's tall, but come on. Every time she goes for the body, I'm like, Vanessa. You're wasting time. You're wasting time.
Yes.
But that's pretty much what I wanted to say.
No, I think that's a really good point. And speaking of the kind of backing up a hair with the blood and stuff like that, good point that I've thought before. This is how they're doing vampires, and this is not quite vampires exactly. They're almost like ghouls because they eat flesh and blood, and they're not quite drinking it. I mean, actually, in this episode, Sam was the only one who neatly drank blood, if you will, because we've commented so many times when they eat, they're spilling blood everywhere. That if this is your life force, you're wasting like 90% of it.
Yeah, they are not conservative about it at all.
I want you with like a straw or something, or like in a
glass, like a Capri Sun straw, just in a neck, just sipping
a little bit, or just like put a tap in it, like Salem.
Tap
they
a
did
person.
that. No, they did. Have you watched that?
No, I haven't.
Salem
That's a thing.
Season 2. They put like I don't know where they tap it, but they essentially put a spout tapped into a person do their glass shut and use it.
Yeah.
Or use it as a bloodbath thing.
That's incredible.
It's a really
Take
cool
notes,
thing to do.
Neil.
And yeah, that meat cleaver fight was pretty weak, and I hope she done better. And then yeah, she totally goes, I don't want to go and get caught, and then you get your ass handed to you.
I also have a thing about people who use like bladed weapons who are totally willing to just hit floors. It's like, come on, dude. You like probably worked really hard sharpening your weapon.
He's like, well, clink.
Floor, chance for you to dodge, chance for you to dodge number 2. Like it's just like it's silly. You've done better fights before, guys. That was silly, lazy fight choreography. I was like, come on, man.
Yeah. But good point. Thank you, chat room. And I agree. The way she did kill him in the end was really cool.
Yes. Agreed.
So that stab thing was the blood harvester?
Oh, we both wrote that down. So
we were confused,
I was confused.
I was like, is that electricity? Because the sound
sounded like electricity.
Was electricity.
I thought he was being electrocuted.
But there was also a sound effect that made it sound like it was a suction thing, like they got hooked up and like blood gets sucked out.
See, the second thing that I actually thought was because it's like a weird like meat factor, or like I actually kind of thought it was more like a crematorium or whatever. So I thought it might be like formaldehyde in an injector or something.
But why would you formaldehyde?
I don't know. To like
it makes sense to
it doesn't make any sense.
Suck the blood out.
Bloodsucker?
Yeah.
I guess.
What do you guys think? Was it like
was she sucking the blood? Was she electrocuting him? Was it a combination of things?
I don't know, because I want to go with it probably was more electrocution.
Just hit the kill button and just let it go.
And dead.
All right, this is just mash the control key. Yep.
Quick little thing, we get the old lady vampire. That's way too long ago that I don't recall her name, but she's the old lady vampire.
Dude.
Senior citizen vampire.
When she threatened Sam, I was like, uh-oh.
Yes.
No one threatened Sam.
No. Did you expect that? That she's going to die?
I expected him to take the knife. I expected him to take the knife in that scene. I did not expect him to just have stabbed her with it later. So I was like, oh, we're going to get a chance for Sam to take power and for us to see him like be eloquent and like, haha, I'm finally reached my potential. Whatever. But he didn't do that. Instead, we just had that like quiet like, no, he's mine.
Yep.
Bye-bye. Like, ew.
Oh, yeah, no, I thought that was great.
Yeah. Christopher Heyerdahl, dude, he's killing it. Like, I'm so So I'm really mad and excited because he did such a good job at making us love him, and now such a good job at making us think that we shouldn't have the whole time.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I'm so torn.
Damn, nail it.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, I was surprised with their deaths, and Julius, poor guy. Not really, but kind of. And he's like, oh, you're gone.
I do love Julius. The more I see of Julius, the more I just love him.
I kind of want to root for him as our bad guy underdog.
I feel like he's our like lone wolf guy who's gonna rule evil the right way.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. I feel like that's
maybe like Dimitri. I'm like, nope, I don't like you.
Yeah,
you're a bad guy. I don't like you. But Julius, I'm like,
I appreciate Dimitri though for what he is, which is raw power. Like, just totally like subdued power. Yeah,
and then. There we go. Thank you, chat room. They agree. Somebody said it was a blood pump. Two people said blood pump. It. And then somebody said, I didn't think they would mercy kill the humans with electricity. And then, someone agreed with you. They totally knew Sam was going to kill the woman. And there's people are like, oh, Sam, I hate you now.
Sam! Yeah. See, and that's the thing. I can't hate him because we don't know.
Hurt.
Yeah, I'm hurt because we also don't know his real intentions.
Yes,
he talks about how weak Susan was and about the truth that Mohammed's not telling her. And was the truth that they were both, or he was working with them the whole time? Did Sam know to come to some capacity?
Was it a truth about Mohammed, or was it a truth about Susan?
I have no idea. I'm so up in the air about it.
I like thinking of that though now, because now it makes me think that it was a truth about Mohammed.
Could have been. That Sam knew and wasn't willing to share without, you know what I mean?
Not Susan. It was Mohammed. Like, he's working with the vampires.
Could have been.
Yes.
And then I have the question of, was Sam working with the vampires too? Were they in cahoots? Yeah. Were they both forced to do this? And
we don't know. Questions. Then the final big standoff, we have Dmitri Vanessa, and I do agree that was pretty epic. It's like he's like. One, we get Mohammed's betrayal, which the more I think about it, I'm like, I think he's been doing this for a long time. However, I don't know if it was necessary from when we first met Mohammed or when he left and was gone for a little while and then came back.
I thought that moment...
I felt more it was his sister had been caught for a while, and then maybe he cut the deal in the middle.
Maybe, and he's trying to broker a deal just for her. Because he wasn't such a driving force.
Yeah. Until later.
Okay.
Like, Vanessa, we got to go here. We got to go here. And he wasn't pushing that until later. So I'm thinking maybe.
So maybe the deal happened.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think that might be true. I wanted to say, just in that scene where we see him, it's revealed that like he just kind of like wanders out and stands there. I was like, oh man, this needs to happen really fast, or I'm gonna like he's.
Or I thought he was gonna die. I almost thought like he's gonna die. Run, man!
Because he wasn't running, I thought he was gonna betray her. Like I was like, this is betrayal.
It was bad.
Yeah. The moment took too long because I was just like, oh no. Yeah. I know exactly what this is.
No,
and there wasn't enough urgency for her to like. Yeah. You need to run over there and grab his ass if he's not if he's not running. Yeah. You physically get him. Or, you know what I mean? Like.
Not to mention but just because there's a good comparison here, like Salem, you always have a choice.
It's true.
I didn't have a choice. Well,
you said that out loud too. You were like, you always have a choice. You were very upset. That was just
in the last episode of Salem, so it was like.
No, I mean I agree with you. I feel like a lot.
Especially if bad things happen to you, that's the thing that people go, I didn't have a choice. It's like, no, you did. You just chose a different route.
Yeah, you chose to survive, even if it meant horrible things for other people.
Yes. Yeah. And then we have, the Vanessa's, she's
her
surrounded.
300 jump.
And she's
stab
like, grabbed.
In the neck.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. And that was epic.
Yeah.
And him just holding her up there was like,
And saying, you look just like
your mother. And that was like.
That's like, oh you son of a bee. You have information I need.
Do we, was she foster care or just said, I don't know much about my parents?
I think she said, I don't know much.
Okay.
That's as much as I feel like I understand.
I can't recall if like she was a foster kid so she doesn't know, or just doesn't know her family, or she left home or something like that. Right. So then you're just like, oh, this is deeper, which makes it more legit that she's special. Mm-hmm. Not just her. And then that does mean Dylan might be.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. There we go. Yeah, good. Chat room saying Dimitri's finally acting like the boss.
Yes.
Yes, he finally is establishing his power. But before we barely saw him, he just stayed in that room. So now he's like out and about.
Doing things.
Yes,
I think we saw a lot of him just kind of talking.
Yeah.
And now we have him doing, which is better.
Yes. So let's get in. I think. Do you have anything else to add?
I mean, we pretty much talked about everything that we wanted. I want to talk about.
Those are all the important topics.
I was gonna say I'm really excited about Flesh. Flesh is like my heart. I'm still really worried for him. Yeah. I think Taka, Flesh, and Brendan are gonna get together to like hopefully.
Do you want to do predictions?
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, you're like that sounds like a prediction there,
TV
sir.
predictions.
Oh, and then side note. There we go. Someone. Oh, okay. Oh, chat room said 1, foster kid, and then thinking your mom died in childbirth. Okay.
So she was lied to.
So she was lied to, which of course makes sense.
Because of course she was.
Yes. Continue with your prediction.
My prediction is that Taka, Flesh, and Brennan are going to team up and try to get into this vampire compound for one reason or another, or try to destroy it. Now, it seems to me, because they had that like section where they planted the explosives that were to understand our explosives, that they're going to blow that building up. Yep. So there's that scene in The Next Time where they're like, oh, we're not worried about Vanessa, and it made me feel like, oh, maybe they're just trying to blow that building up. So demolition coming up?
Yes.
That's my prediction.
Do you think that Shima's going to ruin it, though?
That's a great question.
Because she knows. I was very worried. Every time they were saying a plan around her, I'm like, oh, she's going to snitch and talk about it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, don't talk about it in front of her. Because then there was that secret room, and they were all like talking around, and she's like, oh, I'm going to be behind this pillar and look at you.
Well, we now have the opportunity, because Mohammed is in the same place as Shima once more, that Mohammed and Shima are going to in some way team up to get out together. Yes. That is my hope for them.
I hope they redeem themselves and go, Vanessa, my bad, I got my sister now, and then let's bounce.
And
maybe Mohammed's the one who's going to save her. Yeah. Save Vanessa.
I also wonder what the role of, what's her name, sexy vampire is.
Rebecca?
Yeah, Rebecca.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's going to be a force for our side, like for the non-vampire side.
Right.
In the coming wars, because in the coming like next episode or whatever. Because she is at odds with Dimitri.
Yeah,
so
even Dimitri's like, to Julius, I was going to give you my sister. I don't know if she feels that good about being property.
No, I mean, come on, who does?
Right. But that's why I'm thinking her animosity is with Dmitri, that she's kind of would be okay with like, meh.
Yeah.
Competition's gone.
Right.
My other vampire colleague.
Right. Her brother, more or less.
Yeah. No, totally.
I wonder if they're physically brother and sister, or if it's just a title that they like affectionately.
Well, if they have the same sire.
Yeah, if vampires
they
just
were
call
sired by the same vampire.
Right.
Yes, that's
Interesting
the word.
question.
I don't know any other predictions I have. I really hope this
We're
rebellion goes
Dylan.
well. Dylan, yes.
Where do you think Dylan is? Is
with
Dylan
the resistance camp?
Is Dylan in Denver? Is Dylan in? Is she's in the resistance camp with Brendan?
She's in the
and them?
resistance camp.
Okay.
Why not? It'd be a fun surprise.
That would be a fun surprise. And she's just got like an AK and is just going for
What's
it.
up, Mom?
Hey, Mom. Oh, her?
Or,
Yeah, no,
she
she's the
gets in
best.
there and they're like, Mom? But then again, she might not be with them because they talk about her name so often that I would think Dylan would be like, Vanessa? Vanessa? My mom's name's Vanessa.
Yeah.
Like something.
Yeah.
But
You think she'd be privy to it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of...
So you don't think she's in Denver? Do you think we'll ever get to Denver?
No, I don't think we're going to Denver.
Okay.
So I'm thinking either Dylan's in resistance camp or she'll arrive.
Okay.
Or something like that. I think we have one episode left.
I think so.
Guys,
One,
I
if
can't
not
recall. I need to
two.
double check. Yeah. Well, if this is 12, I think it was like 13.
Okay. Lucky 13.
Lucky 13. Is it 13 or 14, guys? Because it's one of those I'm like, I forget.
Someone Google it.
Yes.
We
And I
didn't Google it.
Well, I looked it up and I don't remember, rather.
okay.
I would like Axel to come back.
Yes.
Not necessarily he needs to be the white knight in shining armor.
Yeah.
But I would like him to be like, what's up, Resistance? I finally caught up with you guys.
Yeah.
Doc, we don't know anything about what happened to her. And
what her life is now that she like tried to be a vampire but can't.
And I hope Flesh gets on the Resistance bandwagon and is like, you know what? Yeah, we should get rid of the vampires. Because he's so passive that I'm like, you can't be that passive in this world.
I feel like he's not passive as much as he's actively
Yes.
trying not to be hurtful to anyone. I think
Yeah.
he you know, yeah, he's trying to be nonviolent in this world of
Yes.
incredible violence. And I think
Yeah.
that is commendable. You know what I mean? I agree that it's a little frustrating,
Yeah.
but I think it's super commendable. And I really
Yeah.
love his character for doing
Oh,
it.
yeah. No, totally. I think that kind of does it for predictions. I'm getting
Totally.
a lot of confirmation from the chat room that we have one episode left. So next week will be the finale.
Uno más.
Thank you for joining us at this specific time. I know we changed it a little bit. We'll be back to the regular 7 o'clock next week. And our lovely, amazing leader host will be back next week as well. She's off in Canada doing a conference.
Canada.
So Marissa will be back next week, so don't worry.
You guys were pretty worried, but
They're like, whoa,
Yeah.
where is she?
I
Don't
mean,
worry, guys. She will be
she's
back.
alive and well.
She's at I think it's Hardee's. It's like a TV show.
It's like Softies, but not.
No, it's Heart.
No?
Hardee's.
Oh, Hearties.
Heart.
Okay.
Like a
Like
your heart.
I me Hearties, right?
It's a television series based on the book When Calls the Heart.
Thank
When
you.
Calls the Heart.
I was like, I know the
book-based.
name,
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm not familiar. But she's up in Canada doing that right now. Anyway.
Fancy schmancy.
Yes, I know, right? She has fun pictures on
Well, we miss you.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, you're not watching this. Tweet at her. Tell her to watch this.
Yeah. Well, Andrew, let people know where they can find you.
You can find me on the internet at www.andrewmenacomedy.com, or if you just want to tweet at me, just tweet at Andrew Mena, and we'll just chat it up, chat it down, or whatever.
Nice. And what other shows you're covering?
Oh, and I'm also, you know what, right now I'm doing Van Helsing, and I'm doing Bob's Burgers. We're taking a little Bob's Burgers break until the new year, so I will see you guys then. You can also find me online if you guys like sketch comedy. Check out the G Squad 6. We got a YouTube channel, and also www.gsquad6.com.
Nice. He does very funny stuff. He posts it on his
thanks.
Twitter as well.
Yeah.
And my name is Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's Karidlane. And I have a little more fancy makeup on today because I did a photo shoot earlier. And so you'll
Ooh.
see photos of that on Twitter and Instagram. So follow there.
Yeah.
And I have quite a few shows after this. I have Westworld, the finale.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
Timeless on Monday.
I don't watch
Box
that yet,
office
but
breakdown.
It's great.
It's a good show. Vikings Wednesday as well as Incorporated, and then Thursday is Winona Earp and Salem. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Give us a thumbs up, 5 stars on iTunes. Comment down below, let us know what you think about this episode, and we'll be back next week for the finale of Van Helsing. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you're up to date on all these awesome shows. Again, thank you for watching. See you next time.
Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.